Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and in this video I'm going to be doing a crochet book review. This is called Men Don't Crochet. I found this book because of Christy. She is one of my admin moderators in the Facebook group and a crochet yarn friend that I've met through YouTube. And she had posted, I want to say like maybe May, that she had found these books in her local library. So keep that in mind. These were in her local library. I am not the best at returning books at the library, so I just decided to buy them. Plus, I'm gonna be honest, I like to keep the book in case I really love the story and I wanna like check in with the characters. I know that's weird. But anyway, so I read this book and I bought it off of Amazon, and when I got the book, in the front cover lists some more books that this author has written. This is by Betty Hechtman. She's a national best-selling author for the first book, which I did not know, Hooked on Murder. So I went back to Amazon and I bought this book. Now, I have just barely started reading this book. I will list in the description box below the list of books and a link to Amazon. The first one was Hooked on Murder. Men Don't Crochet definitely referenced the main character and what she did in Hooked on Murder. So, you know, you definitely really should start there. But I was able to read this whole book and be completely fine with the story. There was nothing in it that was contingent upon reading this book. Then also it's by Hook or by Crook, which I did not buy. A Stitch in Crime, I did not buy. You Better Not Die, I got that one. And Behind the Seams and If Hooks Could Kill. Now, I do know that when I was looking one of these up before, when I bought these three, one of them was coming up as super expensive because it was out of print. I will list in the description, like I said, each of these books and the price on Amazon, okay? So, and I also apparently just realized from my son, Jaron, that he has his own Amazon account that he opened up his own name, I guess, separate than the one my husband and I have, and we have Amazon Prime. And he says he will see a price on his own without Amazon Prime. He'll send that link to us. We open it up in our Amazon account because we have Amazon Prime, and we have a different price. So I didn't know that, but keep that in mind. If you don't have Amazon Prime, your prices might be different than what I have here. But anyway, I wanted to give a quick little review on this book just to get your interest, and then a couple things that I really liked about this book. The main character is Molly, and the number one thing that I really liked about this is she is in a crochet club. She works at a bookstore, and in her bookstore, I guess there's a seating area and whatnot, and a crochet club meets there once a week. She didn't originally belong to the crochet club. She worked there, saw them, taught herself how to crochet watching videos, and then joined this crochet club. There's something else that's super cute I loved about this crochet club. Of course, they have all different characters. They even have a guy that is in the crochet club for a bit. And somebody else joins, but they're a knitter. And I was in a knitting club as a crocheter, and I just love that there's just this, sometimes, not a little bit of tension, but there's some people that are like, this is a crochet club and you will only crochet. And then other people's like, this is a knitting group and you will only knit. And so it's just cute that one of the characters in there has a little bit of problem with a knitter. So I did think that was cute. So it's a really good book about a murder. There's a murder that happens pretty quickly in the book, and the crochet club wants to solve it. Well, one person in particular, the main character is Molly Pink, and it's just a really cute story about her and her crochet club and her friends and her family. Now, the thing that happens in here that I really loved is that the bookstore owner sponsors this crochet club to do works of charity. So in this book specifically, there is a, I forgot what it's called now, a shelter, a women's shelter, that's what it is. I don't know why that was so hard to remember. There was a women's shelter that was just, I guess, opening up in the area, and they were going to be making shawls to give the ladies that were in the women's shelter. And so the bookstore owner purchased or paid for the yarn, and then the ladies were to sit there and make a bunch of shawls, and then the donation would be on behalf of the bookstore to the women's shelter. So I thought that was really cute. That was a really good idea. My previous club, which I referenced, was the knitting club. We met in a Starbucks, but Starbucks did not sponsor us. We just sat there, drank coffee, and made stuff. Now that was pre-COVID. And so once COVID hit, it kind of broke apart. I think some of the gals still get together, side note, at a park, but anyway, okay, so the super cool thing about that, like I said, was that they talked about this shawl that they were making. And one of the new gals talked about, I mean, they actually reference real crochet. The writer in here knows crochet. Besides talking about yarn and yarn weight and yards and hooks, she actually talks about how frequently new crocheters lose stitches, right? And so she's talking about how the girl, the main character, Molly, is a new crocheter, and she keeps missing the chain stitch, you know, and she has to keep pulling out her work because she can see that it's like going in. And I just thought that was really cool that she obviously is an actual crocheter. And then they talked about her pattern. They talked about one of her friends teaching her how to use the stitch marker, and that I just thought was super neat. The overall one of the best parts of this book, in addition, was at the very end of the story is the pattern for Hugs to Comfort shawl. And this is the shawl that they talk about, and I made it here. Wow, yeah. And so what she's talking about is when you get to the, when you go to start the next row, you chain up 3 and you go across. So when you come back to hit that chain 3, you have to make sure that you get it at the top of the chain 3, because what they have you do for this window row is chain 3 to get up, and then you chain 1 because you're doing what I like to call the window stitch, the skip. Chain 1, skip, double crochet, skip, double crochet, skip. And so technically it's a chain 4, but you need to mark the top of the chain 3, chain 1 more, and then continue as you go, so that when you come back around, you won't lose the stitch. It was so nice. So anyway, I made this is the Hugs of Comfort shawl. It is super long. In fact, I'm going to tell you what, I did not make it as long as it asked. It says you need 930 yards. So I went through all of my yarn hoard back there to find 3 skeins, because that's about what you will need. In here, they're just using a generic worsted weight. It didn't tell you if it was Red Heart or Karen Simply Soft or, you know, anything like that. It just said worsted weight yarn. So I looked in my stash and I found that Mandala Ombre has 344 yards. And so I have this much left of my last cake. And this is the shawl. The ombre changes from one color to another in this like nice stripy color. There's only a few places that kind of bug me where you can see the change of color in a row. But otherwise, it's a pretty simple pattern. You can definitely see the places where the newcomers to the crochet world were having their problem. It's a very, very nice shawl. So I did make this shawl from the pattern of the book, and it was real quick to make. It was really nice and easy. The pattern was easy to read, and that was really nice. The other thing that is in the back of this book if you are not only a crocheter, but also a baker. It has Molly's Cheesecake Cupcake. So they also have in here, there's at some point the main character makes these cupcakes. Everybody really likes them. And so the recipe is back here too. So I thought that was really cool. So you get this book, a really good story, and you get a crochet pattern and a recipe. Now, is this book classic material? No. It is a very nice, easy, simple read. It's a good story. It's a whodunit. Somebody's murdered and they have a few suspects available that the Crochet Club is trying to figure out who it is. There are definitely some funny parts in there. Nothing overly, like there's nobody that you're going to cry about in here. There's no tears involved in this book, but just a nice simple story. And in the end, the person that I thought did it didn't actually do it. So that's a plot twist. It was a quick, easy read. I'm not a super reader, but I probably had this done in one day. I didn't read straight through the day. Like I'd read for a while, get up and do something, then I'd sit down and read, and then I'd go like make lunch and clean up from lunch. You know what I'm saying? Just on and off in the day I read it. So pretty easy. Nothing that makes your brain hurt. But it was just a nice, relaxing read. I like the story and I like the book so much that I am ready to read the next one. So that is kind of like, I don't have much time and school's going to be getting started, but I would like to read at least 2 more of these books before the summer's out and crochet the pattern. I am going to go back to book number 1. And again, in book number 1, there is a pattern and there is a recipe. It's called Cece's Granny Square Washcloth. Cece is one of the characters in the story. And Helen's Pound Cake. Now, I have not started doing the baking. I'm not a baker. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So if you are interested in reading and you want to read about crochet, not only crochet, but read about it, I do recommend this this author. It was a good book, a good story, good author, and I will read as many of these as I have time before the summer is out. Like I said, in the description box below will be a link to each of these books to be purchased off Amazon and the price that shows up on my Amazon Prime account. And then in maybe a week or so, I will do the pattern and make a video on this. It takes me longer to crochet the pattern than it does to read the book. All right, you guys, I hope you kind of like this like different twist of a video. This is my Hugs of Comfort shawl, and I am going to donate it to either, I think ours women's shelter is called Christine Ann Center, or St. Raphael's Church. Both those places take shawl donations. Happy crafting until the next video. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and thank you for watching. Bye.